Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Virginia Tech Living Learning Programs Showcase. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Matt Kwiatkowski, and I work in Housing and Residence Life. In my role, I get to support all the programs that you're going to hear from this evening. We're really excited that you were able to join us and hope to give you lots of great information about your housing options for next year. As we get started, we do have a few Zoom housekeeping notes. So one, you'll notice that the mute button is on, so that is intentional for a large group of folks here. So if you do have any questions at any point throughout this evening, we're going to be utilizing the chat feature. So your question, please do post it in that chat screen and we will be able to answer it. There's a few folks, a few other staff members on the line. We'll be able to answer as we are able. And three, we're also recording this presentation so that we can post it to our website at a later time. Lastly, if you are wanting to know more information tonight about one program or multiple programs in particular, we're going to have a Google form to collect some of that data. We'll post that into the chat periodically for you to complete, and this will give us that additional follow-up that we can connect you directly to the programs that you're hearing from tonight. So what is a living learning program? These are housing options that allow you to live with students who you might have something in common with. This could be something that you're studying together, this could be the same major, or this could be something outside of the classroom. As a result, students who are in LLPs find it easier to make friends and more quickly find their place here at Virginia Tech. You're also able to build relationships with upper division students who've been in your shoes before, and they're able to offer advice and answer questions that you may have along the way. Each program also has dedicated faculty and staff who want to get to know you and serve as additional layer of support in your time here at Tech. As an added bonus, you'll also get to know your residence hall before all others on campus. Before we get started, please remember that applications are currently open for all the programs that you're about to see. So you can apply right now. Our programs review applications on a rolling basis from now until July 1st. Please do apply soon, however, because some programs may start filling up in the coming weeks. You can find out more about our application process at llc.vt.edu/apply. All right, well now for the showcase. Each of our programs will be sharing this evening and we'll have about 5 minutes in which to do so. And first, we will hear from our colleagues from in the College of Engineering for the Hypatia and Galileo LLCs. So I will welcome my colleagues to the screen now.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Deanna Perry, and I have the honor of serving as the new director of the undergraduate student programs for our SEED department, which is the center. And we have two separate LLCs. We have Galileo, which is for our males who are interested in the live and learning community. And then we also have Hypatia, which is for the women who are interested in the LLC for the engineering program. As Matt said, we are currently accepting applications for our students. We live in Lee Hall. All students are required to be engineering students, and there is a course that is required for all students who participate in the Live and Learning community for both Hypatia and Galileo. And you have to be a part of the community for a year. And there's also opportunity for the community after their first year as a community member or a upper class leader. So there are opportunities outside of their first year for students to participate. And we're currently accepting applications. Our spots right now are filling up fast. So I would highly recommend folks to apply as soon as possible if you are interested. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know and answer.
All right, do we have any questions for Galileo or Hypatia? Please feel free to put them in the chat.
So the different programs that are planned, we have some academic support programs, we have we have professional development programs. One of the biggest professional development is the expo. The day before the expo, we allow our students to be able to meet with those companies coming in for the so many opportunities to be involved with the community and also with our partners. And these programs are planned by the actual peer leaders. Let's see. So the course that's required for the engineering students who are interested or who are a part of Galileo and Hypatia, it's the, I believe it's ENG, either ENGR, ENGE, and they will be added to, once they're accepted, they will be added to that class. So you don't have to worry about putting yourself in that class, you will be added to that class. Someone's asking about the application process. As far as the application process goes, we have the applications open on the SEED website, and it's really just asking why you're interested in the community and what you bring to the plate, what you will bring to the community. I see that people are experiencing some connection issues, and I apologize. But if there's anybody has any questions or concerns, you can email either you can be at llc.vt.edu. One of the biggest advantages of living in Hypatia is being able to live around students who are just like you, trying to grow as a student, getting more hands-on experiences as engineering students. And then also you get your own peer mentor, you are able to get more experiences as a student in the engineering department. And there's also a studio, a makerspace studio in the residence hall as well. So only students who live in Lee Hall have access to that makerspace. If you're not a part of the LLP, you cannot live in Lee Hall. Lee Hall is only for Hypatia and Galileo students.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Perry. We do definitely appreciate your time. And next, we will be introducing the first of our two honors communities. And so first, we will have Hillcrest.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm not sure if Matt, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I got you.
Excellent. Thank you. I never know with my connection. Apologies. All right. So good evening. So I'm Dr. Nikki Lewis. I'm the preceptor for the Hillcrest Honors Living Learning Community. I'm also faculty within the Honors College. And so if students are taking Honors College courses, you'll likely see me in some of your classes as well. And so our community is one of the smaller ones. We have about 100 students. All of them live within Hillcrest Hall. Hillcrest Hall is also the location for the Honors College offices, as well as Veteran Affairs, the Office of Academic Integrity, and our TRIO student outreach programs. And so this community is composed of a variety of majors. The Honors College as a whole tries to represent nicely the same distribution of students across the different academic colleges. And so within our communities, we tend to reflect a similar mixing of that. But each year we tend to have really good representation of students from all of our academic colleges. And so the because we are an honors focused program, we are academically focused in general. We aren't within a specific discipline or focused on a specific college. And so a lot of our programming is very general in nature, programming that allows students to build community and programming that allows students to tap into campus resources for academic excellence. I wanted to chat a little bit about our logo because I feel like that logo nicely represents who we are and what our students are about. And so that logo has 4 different elements. There is the flame, the hill, the outside of our building, Hillcrest, and then clasped hands. And so that flame represents the passion that our students have for learning, but also for community. That hill represents our place on campus. Hillcrest, as the name implies, crests the hill on West Campus Drive. The outside of our building there is a very distinct architecture feature of our building. And so it separates us a bit from other places that you'll see on campus. And then the clasped hands at the bottom represents the close-knit, welcoming environment that students build as a supportive community within that hall. And so we have a saying that Hillcrest is worth the climb every time because that close knit nature. And so I'm involved with us. We also have a coffee maker on the first floor, and so we tend to congregate around that. And it's a perfect opportunity to spark conversation. Our dean especially, you can run into the Honors College dean quite often in the common area, and he loves to interact with the students. And so the faculty and staff share that community mentality as well. In terms of the leadership or the opportunities that our students tap into, our community is full of self-starting leaders. And so they all know they want to be leaders and they're looking for a place to practice their leadership skills. And Hillcrest provides that opportunity. All of our programming is managed by students on Hall Council and our RAs. And so they are the ones that lead the charge to make things happen in the hall, especially our traditions. And one example is our haunted house every year, which is a way for us to interact with the community because everyone's invited, but also a way for us to raise, to collect canned good and non-perishable items for our local food bank. And so if you're an honor student looking for a way to test your leadership ability, this is a place for that. And so we'll have an information session. Students who are within honors will we do offer some spaces to non-honor students, and that's as space is available. And so folks can reach out to me if you're interested and don't receive that Honors College email. And that's a quick summary of what happens in Hillcrest. I'm still there. It's just, I'm still here. It's just my video tends to cut out my sound.
That's okay. There was one question that someone did ask. How competitive is it to get into Hillcrest, if you wanted to answer that?
Sure. So I wouldn't call it competitive so much as applying early benefits you, because we obviously we're a community for honor students. And so we fill the beds with honor students first. And so if you're not an honor student, then there's limited space available. And because we're smaller, if you don't apply early, then you miss a chance to be in the hall. So just echoing what Matt indicated earlier about applying early.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Lewis. And I think that we are at time there. So we will go ahead and we will move on to our second honors community, which is the Honors Residential Commons. Dr. Terrazaga, are you on?
Here.
Okay.
Are we? There it is. I was waiting for the slide. All right. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Pablo Terrazaga. I'm a faculty in mechanical engineering, but I'm also the faculty principal in the Honors Residential Commons. So I'm currently in the building. I live in the building with my wife and my 4 kids. And we're one of the honors related residential facilities. In particular, we are a residential college, and that changes things a little bit. And so we don't have a lot of time to explain the difference between residential colleges and LPs. And I encourage you, if you're interested, to go to YouTube and search the HRC TV channel. And I have a whole 50-minute discussion on what that means. But just to paint a quick picture, since there's going to be 2 other residential colleges speaking later on, it's a really great way of shrinking the college model to a smaller community of students who are interested in the pursuit of community as well as intellectual engagement. So this is beyond academic engagement. So this is the idea of pursuing intellectual engagement. How do we do that? It's about understanding education from a more holistic point of view, not just a vocational point of view. And one of the reasons with that is that we are multi-generational and multidisciplinary. So we want to explore things like, how does poetry and English inform engineering, and how does design affect all architecture, and how can that be combined with philosophy? So we're really looking at a much more holistic way of education, and we're challenging our students. Our students are honor students, so that is a requirement that you have to look into. Some of you can be accepted into the honors program, or some of you can come in and then later on move into that. And the other important thing about residential colleges is that we really try to connect faculty and students. So a lot of students go through the university without ever sitting down with a professor and having deep discussions, and we try to break those barriers. So not only will you see me and my family in the building, but we also work very hard to get a lot of other faculty and staff from the university involved in our community. And this is the idea, is that it leads to a place where we have the ability to interchange ideas and grow as a community. The HRC in particular has many traditions. For example, every Friday we meet in my apartment in the building as well, so where we live on the 4th floor of this building, and we explore a lot of conversations related to topics that we're having experts come in and discuss. Sometimes we have the president of the university come and talk, or the provost, or different faculty who come and share with us their journey or their research. Other things that we do is we have dinner together every Tuesday. So we go and we meet at one of the dining facilities that we have reserved for us, and we all get together and eat and share this time, which we think is important. Our community in particular has always been led by 4 pillars that we push our students to pursue, which are to learn a language, which brings in a lot of richness of thought as well as communication, to conduct scholarly research, which was something that was born out of the honors communities in general, the idea that undergraduates could do research and contribute. We also like to push our students to study abroad and experience different cultures, and we like them to embrace uprosum, which is the motto of the university, that I may serve. With that, we have a ton of different other ways to engage with our students as well as with our faculty. We have convocation at the beginning of every semester. We have reading groups where we meet together to discuss books that are more for pleasure or more for the idea of a big theme that we might be having through the years. Here are a couple examples of books that we've seen in the past: Confident Pluralism, or Coddling the American Mind, How to Live with Differences, How to Bridge the Gap that, for example, our country is suffering right now with. And we have end of semester events, we have end of year events, and as well as we have other smaller events that are led by sometimes faculty, sometimes by students, such like Soup Night, which started by a student who really liked to make soup. And then every other Friday we meet together and have soup as a community. And how students participate in this? Well, it's an intrinsic part of residential college, is this sharing and co-governance. So we have a council of students who work with me and the student life coordinator. We have senior fellows, which are faculty. We have RAs, and we have these special rooms in the building, which are hosted by apartment fellows. And these are 2 dorm rooms that are put together, which is with a small kitchenette. And those are, you have to apply to those, and you have to contribute to the community in order to be part of the apartment fellows. If you want more information, we have the HRC website, the HRC YouTube channel, the Facebook, and the Instagram. And my clock has run out, and I'll stop right there.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Terrazaga. We appreciate it. Next, we will be moving forward to talk about Innovate. So if you're interested in entrepreneurial community, we have Innovate folks on the line.
Hi, my name is Anisha Hari, and I am a sophomore at Virginia Tech, and I am the Director of Recruitment for Innovate. So Innovate, as Matt said, is an entrepreneurship-centered living learning community. It is not major restrictive. We actually pride ourselves on being interdisciplinary, meaning that we have all 7 colleges represented within the community. And when you come in to Innovate, as it says, there is a required course that you have to take, but I don't want you guys to think that just because it's the required course, you have to be like, oh, I want to make my own business. I want to have a startup. That's not what it is. One thing that we pride ourselves on is teaching everyone that entrepreneurship isn't just starting a business, it is a mindset. It is how you conduct yourself in the workforce and how you collaborate with others. And that is what we teach you guys within the course and within your experience and within Innovate. Aside from the course, we do offer a lot of resources that you would not be offered otherwise as a freshman. We take you guys on treks to places all around Virginia and surrounding areas like Raleigh, Roanoke, and Richmond. And when we take you guys there, we bring a huge booklet with all of your guys' resumes, and we give them to all of the different company recruiters. So you guys have a little foot standing in if you guys want to go for an internship, and you guys are building your connections, because that's one thing that every entrepreneur should learn how to do, is building connections. We are extremely growth oriented. Just like the other living learning programs, you were assigned a mentor at the beginning of the year. The mentor is usually the mentors are usually within your with, which is on the first floor of Pritchard, and the half of the second floor, your RAs and your mentors are all a part of Innovate, and they're usually second years. They have returned to the community because they found it so beneficial and they wanted to give back again. Aside from bringing you guys to treks, we also bring people to you. So there are a lot of resources on this campus. There are so many that it's hard to keep track of them, so we bring the resources to you. We have a lounge space that is swipe access only for the Innovate community, and it's air conditioned. When you get to Pritchard, you will understand the appeal. So we bring different peoples from the Student Help Center to help you with your resume building, to help you with your elevator pitches, to help you learn how to conduct yourself in an interview for any major that you are a part of. We also help you with more ways to push your resume, as we have fireside chats every Friday where we bring in different CEOs and entrepreneurs to tell you a little bit about their company, and you have that one-on-one time with the entrepreneur so you can understand how they started, what struggles that they went through, and you can learn yourself. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Oh, also, if you guys can't think of any questions right now and you guys would like to learn a little bit more about the in-house clubs or activities that we have for you guys, next Tuesday, the 28th, if you look at our social media handles or our email, which is on the slide, we will be having a little Q&A session just with the new leadership team. How do you apply for Innovate? So when you go onto Star Res, you will have all the applications for all the living learning communities, and you choose Innovate and you fill out, I think it's like 3 or 4 questions, nothing too intensive. But my favorite part was probably, I am not from Virginia, I'm from New York, that's where I am right now. And I knew no one going into college. And as soon as I got there, I was greeted with 100 new friends. And with you guys, it's gonna be more because our community is constantly growing. And I am living with someone next year who I met my first year. And I know I'm gonna keep these connections forever. You can apply to more than one LLC. And how many are typically admitted? Well, this year, as I said before, we are growing. I think it's around 210 that we're accepting this year. So, but applications are filling up very fast. So I would apply if you were interested. Join the Q&A next week you have any more questions.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we will move on to the Leadership and Social Change Residential College, which is our second residential college on here tonight.
All right, thank you. My name is Dr. C.L. Bohannon. I'm the faculty principal for the Leadership and Social Change Residential College, Virginia Tech's newest residential college. We're located in O'Shaughnessy Hall. We have AC, air conditioning, and a freshly renovated building. But our community is unique in the fact that the mission of the LSCRC is really to offer students a theoretical foundation combined with the practical knowledge and skills necessary to lead in a complex global environment. And we do that by mapping leadership and community engagement together through the lens of understanding the 19 UN sustainability goals. We are much like Dr. Terazaga said, we are also a multi-generational, multidisciplinary community. We represent every college, except Vet Med at the university. We encourage having those conversations with the engineer and the creative writer about leadership and social change and what that means for society. I live in the building as well. That's one of the unique aspects of a residential college. You have a live-in faculty principal. I'm here to guide the curricular and co-curricular process within the residential college. We also have a live-in student life coordinator. We have our faculty fellows that are part of our strong part of our community. And we also have a course instructor. There is a 2-course sequence for our community that you have to take as part of the residential college that looks first at leadership development and then also praxis semester in the spring, where you actually get a chance to use the leadership development skills that you've learned and apply them through a community engagement project that relates to one of our 3 houses. And our 3 houses are, the first is about environmental justice. We call it the Earth House. We have one on food sovereignty and another house for social justice. And we have all of our work relates to those 3 houses, which also comes from the UN sustainability goals. We have a number of traditions in our communities, much like Dr. Terazaga. We meet once a week in the faculty principal apartment for an event called Intersections, where we invite faculty and staff and community partners into the space for them to discuss how their work intersects with leadership and social change. We also have a weekly event called Reflections, usually on Mondays, where we do a kind of a talking circle and we reflect on items that are happening in the world, things that are happening in individual lives, so we can come together as a community. We also meet once a week for community dinner. The students also started their own version of Intersection, and it's called Juxtaposed, and completely student-led, completely student-driven, really nice, fruitful conversation. And it shows that, no matter where you are in your career, whether you're a freshman or a tenured faculty member, that we can learn from each other, and we pride that in our community. As well, we also do an event that we have tonight after this event called Tea and Conversation, where we get together normally face-to-face in the faculty principal apartment. We have tea and snacks, and we just talk about life in general. Next week at 7:30, we're opening up Tea and Conversation to anyone who wants to join to have questions about our community. The link should be on the slide, but if not, you can contact me at leadership.vt.edu, and I can provide the link for you if you want to come into that space and have be in community with us. There's plenty of opportunities for student leadership in the LSCRC. We have our college council, which myself and our student life coordinator co-advise, and then we also have our house councils that put on programming that relate to either food sovereignty, environmental justice, or social justice. We also have our application review committee, which is a committee that is formed by students to review applications to get into the LSCRC. Our RAs are an integral part of our community, and also our marketing team. We have a classroom in our building, which is unique. We also have a kitchen, faculty principal apartment, the junior and senior commons. And yeah, so if you're interested, we're open to all majors, and we are currently accepting applications. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Bohannon. Any quick questions while we have a few seconds left? Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Bohannon. We will go ahead and roll on to the next. Next, we will hear from our folks from May Rocky, which is one of our newer communities here on campus.
Hi, friends. I'm Savannah Green. I'm a sophomore from Meraki, and I'm so happy to talk to y'all today. So Meraki means the soul, creativity, or love put into something. And in Greek, it's the essence of yourself put into your work. And we pronounce it Meraki. It's a community designed for those interested in a holistic approach to wellness, well-being, or science, health science careers, and we're open to all majors. We're located in Payne, which is centrally located with multiple dining halls. We have war memorial, we have air conditioning, and suite style rooms. So we have lots of engagement opportunities for everyone. We do have a required course that helps students develop a sense of community and grow on their well-being journey. There's no tests, but we do have weekly reflections on the skills that we're learning and activities that we're involved in. We're rated 5.8 out of 6 by students, and one of their favorite classes with their friends is in our community. We have interactive workshops like high ropes courses, outdoor yoga sessions, dodgeball, meditation, mindfulness, healthy eating, fitness, and a lot of life teaching skills for you to impact your health and well-being and help you impact the others around you. We have a community teaching kitchen where we hold healthy eating cooking programs, international cooking nights, and family dinners. We also have a multi-purpose fitness studio where we hold yoga and other physical fitness classes, but also doubles as a study space for all of our students with swipe access. And we also have this event that we're super proud of called Maracaratery, which is our Sunday social events each week that students can get involved in as they choose. We do things from painting, making Zen gardens. We've gone to pumpkin patches, hikes, just dance parties. If you name it, we've got it, we'll plan it. You can see all of these awesome spaces in our programs on our Instagram at VT Meraki. Our recruitment is still open and we look really forward to reading your applications. And I'd also like to let everyone know we're having an open house this Saturday, the 25th at 3 p.m., in which you'll have the opportunity to talk with our student leaders. Thank you so much. And if anyone has any questions, our director, Kevin, would be super happy to answer them.
All right, I'm going through the chat and looking to see if there are any questions specifically for May Rocky. Actually, there is a question here that would be good for everyone. So this question from Cindy says, if you don't apply for an LLP, then are you assigned other dorms where LLP students aren't living? For example, are only Meraki students in Payne or only non-LLP students in there too? Yeah, so our LLPs are located all on different parts of campus. So specifically for Meraki and Payne, they are located on the first and second floors of Payne. So there are non-LLP students who do live on the third and fourth floor of Payne as well. But as the community does grow, eventually the hope is that Meraki would be all of Payne Hall. So all of our communities do have growth goals. There is also another question about suite style, so I'll go ahead and answer that. So some of our LLPs are inherently in suite style communities. And so Meraki is one of those. Another one that you heard about later is Ujima, and another one is Orion as well, Hillcrest. And if I'm missing a suite style, y'all can jump in and let me know. But so if you apply and get into one of those communities, you would automatically be in suite style. If you do not want to be in an LLP, then you would have to select a suite style room separately in the general assignment process. All right, well, I think we will go ahead and move on to our next group if there are no other questions for Meraki. So next, we have Mosaico, some folks from Mosaico who are on the call.
there. My name is Laura Castle-McCullough, and I am currently an assistant director for intercultural learning in Harper Hall, which also houses our Cranwell International Center. In Harper Hall, I also serve as the program director for Mosaico. And I feel incredibly lucky to be part of this diverse community of about half international students and half students who identify as third culture kids. That makes up half of our community, international and third culture kids. The other half of our community is US students. And we like to say that we are bringing the world to your residence hall. And so we focus on language learning and cultural learning. And so a big part of the Mosaico community is that all students are seeking to learn or practice a language in some way. And we really encourage students who are beginner language learners and also native and fluent speakers to be part of this. So anywhere on that spectrum, you're welcome to apply, and we encourage that. We also focus a lot on, as I said, cultural learning. So our community really values diversity and inclusion and cultural acceptance. And we have strong partnerships with several different departments on campus. One of them is the language department. So students get opportunities to be in relationship and learn with language faculty. We also have programs and specific tracks for students with the International Studies Department and Political Science, and also Pamplin School of Business. And so also through that, we have a program where global visitors can come and visit the residence hall and stay through our Global Fellow in Residence program. And that provides a really neat opportunity for students to be able to interact with people who are globally oriented from around the world. Some of our weekly programs, we have weekly language hours every week, and these are led by student leaders. And so it's a really great time where every week you know you're going to get time with other people in the community who are also learning the same language as you, and who just want to be in community and practice that and play games and cook together and do that sorts of thing. And it serves as an informal environment versus sometimes the classroom setting. You have questions after that or whatever, and you can bring them to those language hours. And we work really closely with our student leaders to make sure that they feel equipped to lead those. We also have every Wednesday cultural events. So we call them World on Wednesdays, where we focus on cooking and other cultural celebrations or festivals. Art and music are oftentimes included in those. And we bring in guests and speakers who are, again, focused on global perspectives and can provide intercultural workshops for us. As I mentioned before, student leadership is really important in our community. And we have a significant amount of returning students who choose to come back year after year. And I think that says something about the community that we offer. Students really find
Laura, are you there? Okay. Well, folks, any other questions that you have for Mosaico? And we'll see if she comes back on with the remaining time that we have. Let's see here. There is, okay, so I'll answer a few here. For Mosaico specifically, you will choose the rooms that you want to be in based on your language house. So you will get a choice based on your language house, and those language houses are already predetermined in the building. Also, there is not necessarily an obligation to speak the foreign language, but it is definitely a highly recommended and encouraged thing so that you can continue to build that language practice. And last thing I'll answer here is, do you select suite mates as well as roommates, or are they randomly assigned? So you would select just your roommate. You would not also necessarily select your suite mate, but you can look at the different profiles of the different people who are in the suite with you. Okay, so I think now we will go ahead and roll on to our next community, which is the Orion community. Orion folks?
Sarah, are you starting or am I starting?
Why don't one of you go for it?
Sorry, I was currently muted, so I couldn't start. So we're Orion. We are a science community, so we represent 35 plus science majors. And our goal is really to have a small community of students who share that same passion for science at this large university. So we are located in New Restental East. This is one of the suite style rooms or dorms they were talking about earlier. We also like to brag that we have air conditioning. And like, yes, we do have a required major. You have to be a science major, but we accept from College of Science, College of Agriculture and Life Science, CNRE, and I think that we're also starting to accept from College of Vet Med for any of the public health majors. We also do have a required course, and the course is aimed to help hone in on those professional skills. We work on resumes. We also get networking opportunities. We have faculties, so they're always like mingling with people. And we do have a contract of 1 year, so you do have to stay in the community for a year. And most of our students do continue to stay the rest of their time. They'll move on to a mentor position in their second year, and then other ULT positions as they go on third and fourth years. So.
And if you guys did want to learn any more about Orion, we are hosting an event on April the 25th from 1 to 2 p.m. called Online with Orion, where you can see our full slideshow about what the community is about and do Q&As with the different colleges and with hopefully some professors. So to access that, the link to the Google form is on our Facebook, which will show up if you search Orion LLC, in our Instagram. And if you fill out the Google form, it will send you the passcode to the Zoom and you can hop onto that meeting.
Does anyone have any questions for us?
There are some questions up. So there are a lot of people in Orion who are in both Orion and ISC, and there are enough people in the community that you can collaborate with them on ISC and work on your classes together, and it is very possible to do both.
I see a question about, is agribusiness included in the required majors? I'm not sure if agribusiness is in CALS, but if it is, then yes. And we have on our website, we have all the majors that we accept on there listed. And yes, so if you have a roommate already, they also have to be accepted in the same LLC with you. So.
Yes, and once you are accepted to Orion, to select a roommate, you have to go onto StarRes and choose. You can look through roommate profiles on StarRes and choose someone, and then you both would just create a roommate group together on StarRes, and then one of you will go in and select the room that you both want to live in.
So the required class for Orion, I think it's like COS 2015, and it's basically just a class that meets every week, and you go over resumes. Cecile, do you remember some of the assignments they had first semester?
Oh, they do resumes. They listen to a lot of little seminars from different faculty and programs across the university. They write a lot of reflections, and sometimes they have you like choose your own project to work on and then submit?
Mm-hmm. And it's a one-credit class, and it's really designed to benefit you. So it's not something to stress over. And we also have our citizen science projects that we do in the spring within mentor groups, and that's something really fun that we just added. And so your class transitions to that during the second semester. So
one of our favorite traditions is every floor has like RA hangouts every week, and they reoccur weekly, and so you can just show up and hang out with your RA every week.
We also have faculty's House Cup competitions.
All right. Thank you all very much. Appreciate your time. And next, we will hear from our third residential college, which is the residential college at West Ambler, Johnston.
Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Dana Gmon. Matt, if I can ask you to type in my email address in the chat in case there are any connectivity issues, you're all welcome to write back to me after we talk today. So I am a history professor here at Virginia Tech, and I'm the faculty principal of the residential college at West Ambler, Johnston, where I currently am. This is my apartment in the dorm where I live with my family, my partner, who is a business information technology professor, and our two sons. So the Res College at West AJ is a classic residential college. So what does that mean? It means two things. One is that we really foster close engagement between faculty and students. And the second is that we have students from all majors, all years, all backgrounds. We have no course requirement, and that is intentional because the content of the residential college is created and led by the students and the faculty, by their passions and their curiosity. So a way to think about what we offer in West AJ is, so if you come to Virginia Tech, this is a major research institution, right? It's a huge university, and there are tremendous benefits to you as a student from that. There are opportunities to engage in cutting edge research, to be involved in undergraduate research from the very get-go, and to work with really innovative faculty on their projects. But it can sometimes feel a little bit overwhelming, right? And another kind of college experience is the small liberal arts college experience, where you kind of really try to explore beyond the confines of your major, and you have a close relationship with faculty. So what we offer is basically a small liberal arts college experience. We have 850 students, which is about the size of some small colleges, within the context of a large research university. So the way we sometimes describe this is that we take a large university and we make it small. So how that actually looks, I'm guessing you're all familiar with Hogwarts, the Harry Potter school. So we use that as a little bit of a model to explain how things work here. We have 4 houses within the Res College, and the houses provide smaller communities for the students an opportunity for leadership. And we create a lot of opportunities for you to explore and learn things beyond the silo of your major. So what this looks like, one really key event for us is a weekly gathering called Faculty, tea like the drink, it's a pun, where we have faculty from Virginia Tech, but also from universities, other universities in the US and abroad. We have activists, journalists, artists who come and speak about their research and their work with our students. So to give you a few examples of just some events that we had this year, we had a sociologist who came and talked about the intersection of sport, race, sex, and food. We had a biochemist who talked about discovery of drugs for neglected diseases in Africa. We had a historian who talked about medicine and healing in 16th century Mexico, and we had an engineer who talked about how to fail. So these are really key events for us, for students to get to know each other and faculty from here and other places. But we also have a lot of events that are led by the students themselves, and I'm always blown away by the creativity and breadth of what goes here every single week. So to give you a small sense, we will regularly have Bollywood night, Bob Ross paint nights, karaoke night, trivia, watch parties, trip to see performances at the Moss Center of the Arts here at Virginia Tech. there's really like much more than you could actually, I think, get to do every single week. So it really creates a sense of community when you come here right from the get-go. And the final thing I'll say is that the application process is very simple and very straightforward. We generally have a culture of yes here. If you want to come here, we want you here. If you have an idea, then we want to make that idea come true. We ask you to write a brief essay reflecting on how being in an intellectually rich and diverse and inclusive environment like West AJ will enhance your education. And I hope that you can join us on May 5th for an open house where we'll have students talk about their experiences here at West AJ. Oh, the question about musicians. Not only do we have musicians, we have actually had both a regular jam night and a West AJ band. Our traditions are numerous, and a great way to find out about them is to visit our Google Calendar, which if Emily is on the call, our student life coordinator, I will ask her to post a link to it in the chat.
Thank you, Dr. Agmon. Another question here about residence halls having air conditioning. The residential college at West San Juan Johnston does have air conditioning, and so there are some of our buildings do have air conditioning, others don't. So if that is important to you, you can find out that information on our website. All right, now we will move next on to Studio 72.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Matt Ebert. I'm the program director for Studio 72, which is an arts and creativity living learning community. So the best way I think to describe Studio 72 is it's a place for Virginia Tech students who are interested in the arts being part of their experience. So you don't have to be majoring in the arts. Actually, most of the students in the community are not majoring in the arts. Lots of engineers, architecture, visual performing arts, and then we've got, meteorology, animal science, dairy science, math, students from all across the university. And so we really think about Studio 72 as a place that you could live if you want to explore the arts, if you don't want to lose that part of yourself. Maybe you were in marching band in high school, or that you took some AP IB art classes and visual art as your release. That's how you kind of make sense of the world. Studio 72, I think, is a place where you might find some belonging on campus. And so we're an interdisciplinary community, so all majors are welcome. We're also multi-generational, so everywhere from first year to seniors this year even. We have an informal mentoring structure. So what that means is we've got upper division students, sophomores, juniors, seniors, that have taken a lot of the same classes that you'll be taking, or have been through some of the same processes at the university that you'll have to go through. And so those students are ready and willing to share their knowledge and experience with you and to help you figure that stuff out along the way. So we've got about 50 students returning to the community this year, approximately, and we're looking to grow as well. So looking to have about a little past 100 students this year in Studio 72. So applications are rolling in, but apply sooner than later, just like everyone else has been talking about. In terms of what the community actually does, we have weekly opportunities to practice, learn, and discuss the arts, and those come in a variety of different ways. So every single week we have an event on Wednesday nights. It's called either Process or Critique. So process discussion is an opportunity for us to talk about different arts that we've seen, I like to say, out in the wild, so on the internet or museums, galleries. Maybe it's even we're reading or watching or listening to the same piece and then having a discussion about it. Alternating with that, so every other week we have a critique session where students can bring in their own work and get valuable feedback from their peers, which this is the 4th year Studio 72 will be on campus. And critique, I think, is getting increasingly popular because students are starting to realize the value of being able to give and receive feedback, not just artistically, but I think in general. And so a lot of our engineering and architecture students are really seeing the value of that feedback session pretty regularly. We also have a showcase event each semester, so students are creating work, and that's completely student generated. So a group of students comes up with whatever the theme for the showcase is, where it's going to be, what time, how is the work made, who wants to participate, who wants to help plan, who wants to decorate, completely student run. So that's a showcase event that's once a semester. And then we've got a variety of other student teams. So if you wanted experience in marketing, or maybe it's content creation, or if you wanted to get some experience with event planning. Everything that happens in Studio 72 is student run. It's really hard for me to sort of articulate how much direction the community takes from students in Studio 72. And basically everything that we do is student generated. And it's something that I think we're very nimble and able to sort of grow and shift and change with what students in the community are interested in. We have workshops pretty regularly. So about 10 workshops a semester where faculty, staff at the university, and sometimes visiting artists will come in and host making workshops. So if you're interested in sort of a low-level introductory experience with the arts, those workshops are a great opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about something that maybe you knew a lot about or maybe you knew absolutely nothing about. But those workshops do happen regularly. We also have a 24/7 studio space in Pritchard Hall. So you would have a place where you could work on art, where you could meet with your friends, where you could work on homework, and where we have these community events that happen so regularly. Studio 72 is, I think, a really unique partnership with a lot of different arts organizations on campus, including like the Mossad Arts Center, the School of Visual Arts, School of Performing Arts, English and Creative Writing. And so I think that what makes the experience so valuable is that we can always call on those partners to come in and have host sessions or host workshops and have really powerful sorts of opportunities for you all as students to get better at art or practice art or explore art. I'm looking through the questions here. So we don't have a recording studio, but we do have a studio space that has instruments for students to use and play. There's also the larger studio space has some camera equipment, some visual arts equipment, and all of that is there for students to use whenever they want. It's called Studio 72 because the university was founded in 1872. There's not a required course for Studio 72. We have a class that we strongly recommend, and it's language of visual or language of the arts, which gives sort of a vocabulary for students to be thinking about the arts, not just visual arts, but all arts.
All right, thank you, Matt. And next we will roll on to the Thrive LLC.
All right, hi everyone. Can you hear me? I hope so. Okay, so my name is Janet Hilder and I work in the Office for Learning Partnerships and I am the Program Director for Thrive. And the way that I like to introduce Thrive is by saying that what unites us is our differences. So we are fantastically diverse and inclusive, and that's in large part because, like a few of the other LLPs, we are open to students of all majors and even all years, from freshmen to seniors. This year in Thrive, we have 103 total students, and they are spread out across all of the 7 academic colleges on campus and university studies, and they're represented in 43 individual majors. And of those 103 students, a large majority are freshmen. That's typical from year to year. But we also have a core group of about 18 students who are upper class students who were in Thrive previously and came back to the community this year to give back and to help shepherd the freshmen through their first year on campus. We also are one of the more racially and ethnically diverse LLPs on campus. I think it's 16% of our students this year are international, for example. And we have the second highest percentage of first generation students across all the LLPs on campus. This year, 27% of our students self-identified as first generation. So it's for those reasons and others that I like to say that what unites us is really our differences. We're not a group of students with the same majors or with the same personal interests like wellness or the arts. What we are instead is a group of students who are really interested in learning more about themselves, what makes them them, and what they uniquely bring to the circumstances and experiences that they find in themselves in throughout their lives. So we in Thrive help them learn more about themselves by focusing intently on individual strengths, personal growth, and self-understanding. And if you don't know about this yet, every student who comes to Virginia Tech has the awesome opportunity to learn what their top 5 strengths are. In Thrive, we help our students dig deeper relative to those strengths, helping them understand more what those actually mean for them in certain situations, like in a class where they're working with other people on a group project, when they meet their roommate for the first time, or when they just need to relate to their parents when they go home to visit for spring break or something. So One thing that I mentioned before was our leadership team and how we have some students, upper class students in that this year. What I love about Thrive and our focus on self-understanding and individual strengths is that I think that helps our students set themselves up really nicely to move into those leadership positions when they become open. So next year we'll have an even bigger leadership team, and that will include 4 RAs or resident advisors who are dedicated to Thrive students. We'll have a good number of peer mentors who will meet both one-on-one and in group environments with freshman students. We'll have a student advisory board for the very first time. I'm excited about that. We'll have one senior leader who will oversee the work of the entire leadership team. And we'll also have a good number of committee leads that will oversee 8 various committees. We do ask all of our freshmen to be involved in a committee because it helps them meet people quicker and get involved in a more meaningful way more quickly. And I think they get a lot more out of the community that way. So we live in Pritchard Hall as well. It's really close to the football stadium, numerous dining centers, McComas Gym where people work out. It's a great place to be. Now, we don't require that students take a class together, but we do want them to interact with each other in community. We want our community to feel like home, and we want it to be a supportive environment, both academically and socially. So we facilitate that in a few ways. Every Tuesday, for example, we have a community gathering in Pritchard where we talk about community announcements. We talk about strengths, learn more about those. Students meet with their peer mentors and with their committees. We have a family dinner every other Tuesday right after the community gathering. We have official events every month like hiking and making s'mores and that kind of stuff. And we also work with an alumni scholar of practice from Northern Virginia. He's a business owner and he comes to campus just to meet with us and talk about his perspectives. So really quickly, I just want to say, if you want to learn more about Thrive, because this is just the tip of the iceberg, or if you want to meet some of our amazing students, and or if you just have some questions that we didn't have time for here, I'd like to cordially invite you to one of our 3 information sessions this week. The first one's actually tonight at 7 o'clock, and the links for all of the Zoom chats are on the slide. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hilder. We appreciate it. And next we will roll on to our Transfer Experience LLC for those of you who are transfer students.
Hi everyone, my name is Allison Solknetter and I'm the Program Director of the Transfer Experience Living Learning Community. So we are a really unique LLC because we are specifically for transfer students who are just starting out at Virginia Tech. We recognize that you're in a very unique position where you are not new to college. You may even have a few years of college under your belt, but you are new to Virginia Tech. So you're kind of in this in-between phase where you're not a first-year student, but at the same time, you're looking to get connected and you're looking to make friends. And that's what the transfer experience really is for. So we live on the 2nd floor of Pritchard Hall. We're looking to accept about 80 new transfer students in. We do have a required course that comes with our LLC, and again, it's really unique to transfer students. So this is a course taught by myself and with TAs who are former transfer students themselves, some of them even former members of the LLC. And part of that course is we bring in some different campus resources. So we bring in the Student Success Center, we bring in career and professional development, to really help you get connected, but we also work on your own personal strengths. We work on goal planning, we work on career planning. So it's really helping you be a more well-rounded student at Virginia Tech. And what's great about the class is it's full of other transfer students. I would say one of the main goals of our LLC is to help you make friends and help you find a spot to be all together. A great benefit is if you join our LLC is that your roommate is a fellow transfer student. Most of the students on the 2nd floor in Pritchard are also transfer students. So they know the unique position that you're in trying to make friends. We have an awesome leadership council that you can apply to be a part of right away your first semester at Tech. If you're looking to take on that leadership role, they do a lot of the event planning and a lot of the marketing for our different events. In terms of applying, it's similar to what everybody else has said. You would apply through the StarRes portal. What's a little bit unique to us is because a lot of transfer students, I'm sure you probably just found out a few days ago if you were accepted to Virginia Tech, since that was just released last week. So you do have to make sure if you're trying to apply to us that you have already paid your matriculation fee to Virginia Tech, and you need to give it about 72 business hours to make sure that you're able to apply. So if you try to get in to that application and it's not working, it may be because you haven't paid your matriculation fee yet, or you just haven't given it that 72 hours yet. We also accept students from all majors. We have students from all different years. It's just that we are looking at you're a transfer student starting out at Tech. So a lot of the events that we do, pretty much all the events we do, are social events. They're just fun things to do together on campus. We'll have s'mores roasts, we'll have picnics, to go for hikes, all sorts of different things, because a lot of the more academic things we go ahead and build into our class. So the events can just be fun to get to make friends and find your way around. And we do events just about every week on campus. That's what I can think of at the moment. Does anybody have any questions? Another great thing about the LLC is we're connected to a lot of other transfer groups on campus. So we have a transfer peer mentor program. We have an honor society specifically for transfer students. So we're really building what we call the Hokie transfer community, and the LLC is a part of that. So we also find a way for you to meet transfer students who aren't just in the LLC, but they're also new to Virginia Tech. I will say it is relatively competitive. It's not first come, first serve, but we accept applications on a rolling basis. So what a lot of the other LLCs have said, the sooner you apply, the better, because we can't guarantee that we will have spaces by that deadline. What makes it really competitive is if you apply to the LLC and you're accepted, then you're guaranteed that on-campus housing, which can otherwise be very difficult for transfer students. If you're trying to go through the housing wait list, you don't always get that housing, but you would get it with us through the LLC. And yes, we are on the second floor in Pritchard. So I would definitely say apply sooner rather than later.
All right. Well, thank you, Allison. We appreciate your time. And we will continue rolling on. We have two more folks. Next will be the Ujima LLC.
Good evening. My name is Ellington Graves. I am the Associate Provost for Inclusion and Diversity and also Director of the Africana Studies program at Virginia Tech. Ujima is an LLC that focuses on African American experience and seeks to use that experience as a foundation for helping students think about how to more effectively navigate Virginia Tech, how to be as successful as possible, and it becomes a mechanism by which we try to enhance success and retention for the residents within the LLC. We are in Pedro Yates Hall, which is a suite style hall. This coming fall, we anticipate having, inclusive of RAs, 120 folks in the LLC. And that includes a combination of returning students. The majority of them are second year students. I think we'll have about 36 returning students this coming year. And then the remaining slots are for first year students. We do have a required course. That course is Introduction to African American Studies. And the goal behind that is really to help students link the focus on the African American experience to a broader set of considerations of the ways that African Americans have not only made contributions to the U.S., but also using it as a lens to think critically about the way that American institutions operate, and thinking as well about broader questions of social justice and inclusion and diversity. We anticipate having a number of engagements with community service over the coming year, a cultural immersion trip for residents, as well as engagements with our cultural and community centers here at the university, and hopefully interactions with other LLPs as well to create greater opportunities for cross-fertilization and interaction and critical engagement. Right now, we have a transition leadership team in place. We are hopeful to be able to hire a program coordinator, full-time program coordinator for Ujima soon. We actually, just because of the COVID crisis and a hiring freeze, we kind of got stuck in that process. But our hope is that we'll have someone in place who will be responsible for Ujima full-time. And they'll work as well with the leadership team created from the returning students, and especially some of our returning third-year students. Any questions? Okay, great. Well, we do have a social media engagement session planned for, I believe it's May 18th. So if you get in touch with the folks at Housing and Res Life, they can refer you to us, and we can make sure you get that information. In terms of community service, it varies depending on the need within the local community. Sometimes we work here in the Blacksburg and Christiansburg community. Sometimes we will take students over to Roanoke to work in the community over there. And again, it just depends on where we can find effective partners who will benefit from getting our students engaged and involved.
Any other questions for Dr. Graves?
Actually, just got a message from one of my colleagues who said that we've in the past have worked with Feeding America and also Ronald McDonald House.
Wonderful. Well, there are no other questions.
Actually, I do. There's one correction. That email address, it's eGraves. There's no A.
Oh, we do apologize for that.
No problem. Just want to make sure that if anybody does want to get in touch with me, they can. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And tonight, last but certainly not least, our VIA LLC.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for sticking around to learn more about the VIA Living Learning Community. Picking a major can often be the largest, most significant decision that you make as a student at Virginia Tech. Altogether, we have over 100 different options to choose from, and it's really easy to get lost in that decision, to feel pressure to pick something so that you can pick it and move on with life. And the fact that a lot of your friends will already have majors coming in and you want to be like them. So to that end, we have created the VIA Living Learning Community as a place where undecided students from all across the university studies, life science undecided, liberal arts undecided, all of our undecided majors can come together in a supportive environment and learn about these major options that they have to consider. Along the way, we don't just focus on majors, but we also spend a significant amount of time focusing on career fields that you can get into from these majors. And we have campus partners that work very closely with us in this exploration. We have an advisor from the Career and Professional Development Center that works with us. Her name is Meredith Gerber, and if you're in VIA, you will work with Meredith very closely. And we try to bring these campus resources into the space in VIA so that you don't have to go outside of your community to try to find them. We bring them into you. Among the other resources that we have, and I think maybe the most important resources, are our residential mentors. These are sophomores who have gone through this journey of exploration into self-discovery together in the past, and they're going to be living in the space with you so that if you have a question, an epiphany, anytime you can go and talk to them, and they can assist you with that. We have 2 required activities in the fall. We have a class for all of our residents, Pathways to Success, Exploring Your Future, in which we delve deeply into who you are, your personality, your values, your interests. And then we talk more about how to research the different majors and how to find out which majors align in career fields, align with those interests and values and personality traits. This class does also count for general education credit. So in addition to learning about yourself, you're also taking one step closer to graduating. We have a workshop on Tuesday evenings where we also bring in resources and colleges for info sessions and different speakers. You have check-ins. That would be a time when you would meet with your residential mentor and just talk more about your journey and where you are right now, what you need, how to explore, etc. A few of the benefits of participation in VIA: more than 60% of our students earned Dean's List recognition in fall 2019, and about 25% of the community's residents identified and transferred into a major by the end of their first semester. So we've had great success with our program helping students find that niche. Now, I know it sounds like it might be a lot of work, but we also have a lot of fun as well. Our students have 3 major committees that they have organized, and they plan social events. And these are everything from holiday celebrations to paint nights, hiking trips, movie nights, things like that, so that you can just relax and enjoy the time that you have along the journey. So one of our students, I think, summed it up best, that being undecided isn't really scary, and college can be the best time of your life. And that's what we try to ensure that our residents have within VIA: a time to explore, to embrace the undecidedness, and use that to find out more about who you are and where you want to go in life, in a structured environment where you can work with an academic advisor and other advisors and mentors who have made this journey on their own.
All right, any questions for Jason? Wonderful. Well, with that, this concludes our LLP showcase for the evening. Again, if you leave here tonight wanting more information about any of our programs, please fill out the Google form in the chat so we can follow up with you directly. You can also reach out to livinglearning@vt.edu. Please don't delay in applying. Our programs are filling up quickly, and you can find out more about that process at llc.vt.edu/apply. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening.